What if one routine medical test could turn a healthy 74-year-old into a surgical patient within weeks? Give me 5 minutes, I'll explain. The third sign shocked researchers, and the fifth is very important for you. Also, bonus tips. I will share 3 tests that needs after 65 at the end of this video. A routine health test taken by millions of seniors every year may be doing more harm than good. In fact, one major medical organization now advises against it for many older adults. And that's not even the most shocking test we'll cover today. Let's begin. Checkup number 1, routine colonoscopy after 65. Imagine you're 77, no symptoms, no family history. Previous colonoscopies were completely normal, yet you're told it's time for another one. Sounds reasonable, but here's what many people don't realize. The preparation process alone can be dangerous for older adults. Severe dehydration, electrolyte imbalances, kidney stress, dizziness, and even hospitalization can occur before the procedure ever begins. And while colonoscopy remains an important tool for many people, major screening guidelines suggest that routine screening after age 75 should be individualized rather than automatic. Why? Because the potential benefit often becomes smaller while the risks increase. Before scheduling another colonoscopy, ask your doctor, how likely is this test to help someone my age compared with its risks? That one question can completely change the conversation. Checkup number 2, aggressive PSA and cancer screening. Here's something most people never hear. Finding cancer is not always the same thing as saving a life. Modern imaging technology is incredibly powerful. Sometimes it finds cancers that grow so slowly they would never cause symptoms during a person's lifetime. This is called overdiagnosis. The problem? Once cancer is found, treatment often follows. Biopsies, radiation, surgery, medication, even when the cancer itself may never have become dangerous. That doesn't mean cancer screening is bad. Far from it. It means screening decisions after 70 should be personalized rather than automatic. Ask, if this test finds something, would treatment actually improve my quality of life or longevity? Checkup number 3, routine cardiac stress tests. This one surprises almost everyone. You're feeling fine, no chest pain, no shortness of breath, no symptoms. Then someone says, let's just check your heart. Sounds harmless, but stress tests can produce false positives, and false positives often trigger additional procedures, more scans, cardiac catheterization, stents, long-term medications. Yet large studies have shown that many people with stable heart disease do just as well with medication, exercise, blood pressure control, and lifestyle improvements. The lesson? Treat the person, not just the test result. If you're symptom-free, discuss whether a stress test is truly necessary. And wait until you hear number 5, because experts specifically recommend against routine screening for it in healthy adults without symptoms. But first, checkup number 4, bone density tests that automatically lead to medication. Osteoporosis is real. Fractures are serious. But here's where things get complicated. Many people receive a bone density scan and immediately end up on long-term medication. What often gets overlooked is that preventing falls may be even more important than increasing bone density. Think about it. Strong bones help, but avoiding the fall entirely helps even more. Research consistently shows that balance training, strength training, home safety improvements, vision correction, and adequate nutrition dramatically reduce fracture risk. Checkup number 5, carotid artery screening. This may be the most controversial item on today's list. Carotid ultrasounds look for narrowing in the arteries that supply blood to the brain. The logic seems obvious. Find blockage, fix blockage, prevent stroke. Simple. Except it isn't. Many older adults have mild narrowing that never causes problems. Yet finding it can trigger procedures that carry risks of their own. For this reason, major expert panels generally recommend against routine carotid screening in adults who have no symptoms. No mini strokes. No vision loss episodes. No neurological warning signs. The best stroke prevention strategies remain surprisingly familiar. Control blood pressure, control blood sugar, stay active, don't smoke, manage heart rhythm problems. The best medical decision isn't always doing more. Sometimes it's asking better questions. If you found this helpful, subscribe and be a part of us. Every week we break down what the research actually says about healthy aging without fear, hype, or confusion. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had a medical test that led somewhere completely unexpected? It is important to hear your story. Now we'll discuss 3 medical tests every adult over 65 should get. Subscribe now so you don't miss any point. Not expensive treatments, not miracle supplements, not complicated procedures. Just 3 simple tests that many older adults either delay, ignore, or never realize could reveal problems years before symptoms appear. Test number 1, a 1C blood sugar test. Let me tell you about James. James was 68 years old. He felt fine. No major complaints, no pain, no obvious symptoms. Maybe a little more tired than usual. Maybe a little thirstier, but nothing alarming. Then, during a routine checkup, his doctor ordered a simple A1C blood test. The result shocked him. His blood sugar had been elevated for years. He was officially diabetic. The problem? Type 2 diabetes rarely announces itself early. It develops quietly, sometimes for 5 or even 10 years before obvious symptoms appear. Meanwhile, damage is occurring. Damage to blood vessels, damage to nerves, damage to kidneys, damage to the eyes, and perhaps most importantly, damage to the cardiovascular system. Most people think diabetes is a blood sugar disease. In reality, it's often a blood vessel disease. The A1C test gives a picture of your average blood sugar over roughly 3 months. Unlike a single glucose reading, it shows the bigger picture. And after 65, that's incredibly valuable. Because catching elevated blood sugar early can help prevent some of the most common causes of disability later in life. If you haven't had your A1C checked recently, it's worth discussing with your physician because what you don't feel can still hurt you. Test number 2, bone density scan, DEXA. Now, this may surprise you. In part 1, I explained why I don't like automatic medication decisions based solely on a bone density scan. But that's very different from saying the scan itself isn't useful. In fact, for many seniors, it can be incredibly valuable. Let me explain. A hip fracture changes lives. Research consistently shows that many older adults never fully regain their previous level of independence after a major hip fracture. The challenge is that bones can become weaker for years before a fracture occurs. You don't feel osteoporosis developing. There are no warning lights, no pain, no symptoms, until suddenly there's a fall. A DEXA scan helps identify whether your bones are becoming fragile. The information itself is valuable. The mistake is assuming medication is always the next step. Sometimes the right answer is strength training. Sometimes it's protein intake. Sometimes it's vitamin D. Sometimes it's balance work. Sometimes medication is appropriate. Sometimes it isn't. But you can't make an informed decision without information. That's why I still believe understanding your bone density after 65 is important. Knowledge first, treatment second. Test number 3, hearing test. This is the one almost nobody expects. And yet, it may be one of the most important tests for healthy aging. Most people think hearing loss is simply annoying, turning the TV up louder, asking people to repeat themselves, missing parts of conversations. But modern research has revealed something much bigger. Hearing loss is strongly associated with social isolation, depression, falls, and cognitive decline. Think about what happens when hearing slowly worsens. Conversations become harder, restaurants become frustrating, family gatherings become exhausting. Many people unconsciously begin withdrawing from social situations. And when that happens, the brain receives less stimulation, less engagement, less connection. That's a serious problem. The scary part? Hearing loss usually develops so gradually that most people don't notice it. Family members often recognize it years before the person experiencing it does. The good news? A simple hearing evaluation can identify problems early, and addressing hearing issues may help preserve quality of life far beyond simply hearing better. It may help preserve independence itself. The bigger lesson. Notice something about all 3 tests we discussed today. None of them are looking for rare diseases. None are chasing unlikely problems. They're focused on the things that most commonly rob older adults of independence: loss of mobility, loss of balance, loss of cognitive function, loss of cardiovascular health. The goal of healthy aging isn't simply living longer, it's living better. It's being able to drive your own car, take your own walks, visit your grandchildren, travel, garden, play golf, enjoy life on your own terms. And the best medical tests are the ones that help protect those abilities. Before your next doctor's appointment, ask yourself, when was the last time I checked my blood sugar? When was the last time I evaluated my bone health? When was the last time I checked my hearing? The answers might tell you more about your future than you think. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more evidence-based healthy aging content. And in the comments, tell me which of these 3 tests have you had recently. I read all comments because I want to know how seniors' treatment feels after 65. I'd love to hear your experience. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.